What's up, everybody? Welcome to the
Yo.
Group. Phil Jones here, Phil Jones NFL. I am your host.
I'm alive, motherfuckers.
And we live.
You my boy, Blue.
My boy. What you been up to, Phil? It's been a couple weeks since the last time we touched base. Got together and dropped some knowledge on the folks.
What can I say? You know how work get in the way. I'm the hardest working motherfucker there is. Reminds me of number 13. Hardest working motherfucker out there at wide receiver.
Hardest worker.
That's funny.
You're not the biggest.
Yeah,
not the
that's true.
But you just keep getting open and making it happen. Delivering in the clutch.
OTA. Hey, ain't just delivering in the clutch. It's to the heavens.
No, we're not there yet. Let's stick to the clutch. We're not quite to the heavens yet. Said I'm gonna need to start walking around talking about unity before we start talking about to the heavens.
Unity.
What up, Flamingo D? Can't call it, brother. Just having some fun, getting out here, kicking some Raider knowledge, letting it. You know what? We're not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna grace you with timeout. I'm gonna do something far worse. I'm simply going to ignore you. Hello, nation, and to the peasants.
Hello.
To the peasants.
The peasants.
So, well, let's dive into it. First question of the day is, what's going on with Josh? You want to know what's going on with Josh?
My neck, my back. Ooh, that shit hurt like that.
The same thing that's always going on with Josh about this time of year. We got nicks and aches and bruises.
Yeah.
Got carried over from the regular season, which are a cause for concern, and precisely why both myself and Phil Jones here believe that the future of the Raiders running back core was selected in the 4th round.
That strong looking boy they call Zamir Zeus White. I'm just saying.
Twitter doesn't pay me, player. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. Twitter don't pay me. Zeus, bigger, faster, stronger, more explosive.
Hey, I mean, Grant, there's gonna be folks that say, "Well, can Zamir White catch the football?" He can, but I've noticed his little problem of what happens. He's ready to get to the second level. Now, granted, he has some shitty-ass quarterbacks at Georgia that are basically system quarterbacks. But again, if in today's day and age, being a running back, they need you to catch the football. They need to also pass protect. His pass protection is not bad. It can be a little bit better. But when it comes down to him catching out the backfield, he has to focus on securing that ball. There's been times where he's caught the ball going back to his sophomore year at Georgia. He'll catch it, but he's not securing that ball at 100%, and that ball just flies out. Luckily, it goes towards the sideline. But still, he's going to have to work on this right now during this period of mandatory OTAs. Then they're going to have training camp come July. But if he really wants to take this number one job, if it is up for grabs, because the reason why I say things are up for grabs right now, Phil, is because everything's up for grabs besides the number one and number two spot at wide receiver. Same for the O line.
Talk about
Same
the
for the
number.
defensive back.
Let's talk about the number two receiver. Now we've heard a lot about what the number two receiver is. We've heard a lot of what the number two receiver isn't. And while I had my ideas of what I thought Josh McDaniels might install for one Hunter Renfro, it appears that he decided to go in a slightly different, that he may be going in a slightly different direction. What do you think about that, Phil? What are your thoughts on that, Jones?
That it was a shocker. You know, this person going to be your full time number two. That so far looks like they're going to be playing on the outside. It didn't really catch me off guard, but it was more on the. This is interesting. But then again, he is 2.0 to this other guy. So if that guy can do it, damn if I know he can do the same fucking thing.
Or at least at least be moved around, flexed out, and do some different things. But even still, what it wasn't surprising because I know that he's capable of doing it. It's just one of those things where. But then again, you had made a comment to me off air when you were saying you had made a comparison as to the new Cooper Cup,
Yeah.
and that really struck me. And I looked at the production, and then I thought about it some more, and I was like, that makes way too much sense because now if you choose to double both of them, you just leave the whole entire middle of the field for Waller and Keelan Cole to work in a happy zone.
I, so, I mean, you look at this guy. I mean, you know what he can do. He does it all. We kind of had the idea that sooner or later he was going to be on the outside. To be honest, I know this is the damn my fucking phone is blowing up. Sorry about that. We knew that he could play on the outside. And I hate bringing up the past, but you know, if John had got a little bit more creative, he could have had him, Ruggs, and you know, whoever out there.
On Ruggs in the slot.
Yeah, where he should have been the whole time. All you had to do was switch it up. And if you switched it up, I mean, shit. I think things would have been better. But you know the funny thing about it, I think Josh McDaniels sees the shit that I'm seeing. As much as people want to run out and say, but you don't work for the team. I don't need to work for the goddamn team, damn it. I
All you
don't.
need to do is watch football.
You got to have the knowledge. You got to think outside the box. There are a lot of moving. When I say there are a lot of moving pieces, I mean that in a good way. I mean it as scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, scenario 4, 5. If I can mix up multiple pieces, I am a threat on the offensive side of the ball. I'm not limited to one spot. And when you know now that you have guys on that receiving core that is not limited to one spot, then you become the problem for defensive backs, for defensive coordinators.
Because let me kick it to you guys a little bit like this, and spin that cube just a bit, and think about it like this. Hunter Renfro is shredding everyone.
Even your
He
mamas.
he was giving it to Jalen Ramsey so tough in practice that Jalen Ramsey had to have Vinny come out and say something on his behalf and addressed it in a press conference. So you know it meant something to him. You've seen Hunter do it to everybody all season long. And if you dare, and by putting him out wide, if you got one great corner and one all right corner, you've got Hunter out there on an all right corner on a guy that we all know cannot cover him.
So let me
And
answer this. You want to answer this?
when McDaniels is not bringing it up, he has the
No, I
advantage.
think he meant to say why McDaniels is not bringing it up. He has an advantage. I mean, I'm going to be real. I wouldn't be bringing this shit up to nobody. I
Nope.
wouldn't let nobody know.
Nope.
I mean, I'm letting you know.
So this is what we get paid to do.
Deep fried Derwin James. Not just deep fried Derwin James. JC
Right, everyone.
and JC fall on broken ice Jackson. JC, I'm gonna need a life alert Jackson. Is in for a rude awakening.
I got where he's going with that.
I'm saying, bro. Everybody's, and it's funny, a lot of people are so fixated with him just being, oh, he's just gonna be your slot guy. He's not. Yeah, that's another thing. But remember what I said, who's gonna be your slot guy if this happens? Well, really not an if, but yeah. I think Robinson, and I had to go back and look at Robinson's tape. Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Robinson's tape, third down, how was he shredding everybody? It's a lot of crossing routes. It's a lot of slants, and he's a little bit faster than Renfro in the slot. Now, granted, Keelan Cole can do the same thing.
With that 4.67 he ran,
Mm-hmm.
Hunter's not that slow.
Nah, I didn't say he's slow.
You said he was faster than Hunter. I know that.
Are you talking about what, Robinson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said he was faster than Hunter, and I'm gonna have to say that's cap.
It's something. Hey, look, man, that's
Look, we
something that
pull up the tail
Robinson.
of the tape. We'll pull up the tail of the tape. The tape will show that is cap.
Well, sir, get me a bottle of scotch.
Ball placement makes a hell of a difference. Let's understand that.
We'll get cracking. Now, mind you, now you did say something that was key: ball placement. What was I always saying on third down for Renfro? What was Renfro always having to do?
Stop, come back to the football.
Not even stop and come back, but
jump up, spin around, make make a 360 no scope catch.
Yeah.
and immediately have to find a way to crumble down to the ground to make sure he didn't get his head knocked off his shoulders.
Yeah. Am I missing anything else?
Break a tackle, break an ankle.
No, actually, hey, you were wrong. They both got the same 40 time.
Hunter ran a 4.67.
You ran no 4.67. What the fuck you smoking?
That's what old boy ran.
Who said that shit? Who told you that lie? Who told you that lie? They both ran a 4.59. Go back to the kitchen. Go back to the kitchen. Go back to the kitchen. I can't believe you said that. 4.67.
Wait. The 4.59 wasn't that impressive either. Not for the amount of deep ball speed.
Remember, don't golf all them damn them 40 times all the time.
The 40 times is sacred. What you talking about?
Unless you smoking meth all the time.
Meth.
I'm just saying,
I don't see anybody catching Lamar Jackson from behind.
But again, that will be your guy you slide in.
Yeah.
Because now if you really look at it, you got the slot under control now. But again, Cole is another option.
Real interesting wild card, and I look forward to seeing what we're going to get from him. They have McDaniels has a very high opinion of him and thinks that he was misused at his previous stops and was burdened by the fact that he did not have a serviceable quarterback in a real NFL system.
I mean, he's got a point, and out of the three, the fastest is Keelan Cole. So let's say if you ran with Keelan Cole, and Keelan Cole was solid, he was solid with shitty quarterbacks.
And I think he's bigger too.
They're about the same. Him and Robinson the same size. They're the same size. They're about 6'1", I think 6'1", maybe about 205 or 190. 190. I think he's about 195. And I know they're about the same. We're about the same weight and size. I think they're all about like 5 pounds. It's like a 5-pound difference between the two. But the thing of it is, Keelan Cole did an excellent job with the quarterbacks that he had to work with. As a matter of fact, let's go. Just think about it. If you went to the Jets, your first year, you got targeted. I think he came in he started for 11 games. You worked with 3, 4 different quarterbacks. Got about 28 catches for 449 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, some folks will say it's not great, but the problem is who's delivering it. How accurate was the ball being thrown? You got to factor some of those things in. Everybody's going to say, well, the wide receiver can come back. I said, that may be true.
You can't do everything.
But I ain't trying to get my head taken off. And people got to realize that if the ball placement is not good, it's no need for you to try to run back for that shit because you're gonna end up getting your head cut off.
And bad ball placement is the difference between a touchdown and a long game. That I've said it time and time again and will continue to say it. Said ball placement is a huge deal. And when you're working with young, inexperienced quarterbacks,
Yeah.
they're under fire and they're pressing and they got all kinds of things going on. Not used to the speed of the game, or trying to over committing, throwing the ball extra hard for no reason and hanging you out to dry. And as a receiver, sometimes you got to protect yourself.
Yeah. And
Because
see, the other thing is, another thing I think about here is this: the Raiders have speed on this roster, so wherever direction they go with the number 3, 4, 5, and 6 spot, shit, maybe 7. I mean, the Raiders are going to be set. So the Raiders added another tight end today. They added
Jesper
just
Horsted.
yeah, just a horse that from out of Princeton. He was with Chicago last year. What, scored 2 touchdowns on our asses? Or what, 1 touchdown on us when he was with the Bears? I'll say this. That number 2 spot at tight end is not looking locked in right now.
Not even close.
'Everybody's going around and just like, oh, we're set. We got Waller. Yeah, we got Waller. Foster, I'm going to be real. I don't think Foster is set to hold the number 2 job this year. Remember, not everybody's job is safe. And if you think that because they were on the roster last year, and well, he came in and did this, and this, it don't mean shit.
Make sure you include that huge fumble.
I don't even need to include that huge fumble from KC. The one thing I include is the poor run blocking, because it was not good, and it's booming out on tape. And if I'm a coach, and most likely the coaches are watching that, whether it's McDaniels, whether it's and I said the O-line coach's name, Brasillo, they're all looking at it. They're like, this 6'4", 255-pound tight end is getting driven back, getting pushed back into the running backs. Do I really want this as my number 2 guy or one of my main primary blockers? I know Waller does tend to have his little moments with blocking, but am I really sold on this guy being the number 2 tight end? And I'm going to be honest. I'm not sold on Foster Moreau. I'm not.
So the question that I have when you're talking about potential number 2 tight end is, did you ever look at that guy that I told you to look at?
Yeah. He's an interesting character.
Now, as a number 2, I was like, I like where his head is at, and watching some of his releases, I would be curious to see him do it against the NFL talent, because I don't there's a lot of potential there. At least that's what it looked like on the screen for me.
Ooh, that is interesting. That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Because what do we have? Week 1 of the season. What did we have? What was it? When he had Cooper. Or when he had Crabtree. Shit, what did we have when he had Jared Cook? I'm just saying.
I appreciate you.
You're welcome, Phil, because you wouldn't have known that shit. But I mean, would you think that he would say, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna force it to my brother Devontae. I know Devontae's right there. I'm gonna try to get it up there to him and say, hey, brother, I want you to go and grab that football. I'm gonna throw off my back foot a little bit, and we'll make sure that it's gonna hang there for you. I'm gonna put all my oomph into it. I'm gonna say, gosh dang it, damn it, maybe I gotta
I
make
promise
sure.
you.
I promise you.
So we need to wrap this up, B. We already know where this is going. So look, I've said that I expect Devontae to get anyone could I actually said I expect him to get 180 targets. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I hope and I sincerely hope that he doesn't just lock on to Devontae Adams because there are a lot of weapons and a lot of options and places to go with the football. Somebody is going to be open every single play, and it's going to be up to him to find that guy and get him the football and deliver a catchable football in an area where he can do something with it. I envision a contrast of styles between the dink and dunk that everybody hated that Tom Brady was just chopping teams up with, or going full spread with all the talent that Derek has and let him do what he does best and improvise with a spread out field so that he can read the defense and make them adjust to what it is that he might be doing instead of vice versa.
Hey, that tight end you were talking about, you said he was still on the roster, right?
No, is he? I don't think
Yeah.
he's on any roster.
Because now, okay, so look, this is what the roster's looking like right now. Let's see, one, two, three.
Well, you talking about Horsted?
Yeah. No, 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 no. You know who he's coming to replace, right? I think he's going to end up taking Father in Ham's spot.
Already, huh?
Yeah. Because currently, right now, they would only have. Because right now, they only have 6 tight ends set up on the roster.
Mm.
And I need them to get Tyrone Wheatley Jr.'s weight right on there. Got this motherfucker at 265. He ain't 265.
No, sir.
Tyrone Wheatley is Tyrone Wheatley Jr. is about he's packing at about 300. And hold up, let's see. I mean, you got a hell of a lot of competition getting ready to get started, man. Whew, this shit's gonna be interesting. It's gonna get interesting, Phil. But
Pretty much so, but it's gonna get we're gonna get this little bit of football news, little bit of football noise. I mean, it's great to see the love fest between a quarterback and his new wide receiver, best friend, all that other good stuff that we're gonna hear. That's gonna be the talk of training camp, and I can tell you honestly, that means absolutely nothing to me at this point. I want to see the production that they had together at Fresno. I want to see touchdowns. I want to see many completions. I want to see. I want to see the other receivers eat too because of the attention that's being paid to Adams, the
Yep.
attention that's being paid to Hunter, the attention that's being paid to Darren, the attention that's being paid to whoever's coming out of the backfield, the second tight end. Hell, I would love it just to see Derek just take off on a QB draw out of the spread with an empty backfield. I want to see all kinds of stuff. What I want to see more than anything is winning football. I want to see a division banner. I can't even remember the last time the Raiders won the division. I think it was the year they won the Super Bowl or went to the Super Bowl. Excuse me. So hit those thumbs up buttons and give us an unfiltered salute. Help us out. Get us on the algorithm so that we can spread this show amongst all of the Raider content consumers so they can know the truth, the unfiltered
So
truth.
I'm gonna say this.
Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Look at
Who that?
this.
Who that?
Oh,
Who
oh,
that?
make it.
Hold, I got him. I got him. Hold up. I got him.
Oh, Tone Loke. Truly Tone.
Oh, unfiltered fam.
Bang. Hey.
It is he. I am alive. Pardon the interruption.
Now, you know we're gonna have to change your name to Phil, right?
Figure out some way to make it work.
All right. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Where are we? I know I interrupted something.
Oh, so you just came in at the part where I was gonna tell everybody where where we're probably looking at with these corners.
Okay.
Mr. Robinson. Remember how I was telling you about not just Rock Yassin, but Mr. Anthony Averett
Yes.
as 1 and 2, your starters. And that's what it's looking like right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be your starters. Everybody like, oh, what about Mullen? He ain't going to be no Mullen.
Mullen got some foot issues right now, and even if once he comes back from that, he's down there on the depth chart a little bit.
I mean, Mullen. Look. The problem is, look. If you were supposed to have surgery on your foot, you should have had that shit done back when you were out for the year
during the season. And I get it.
I don't get that, man.
Everybody doesn't want to go under the knife, but at a certain point, you got to understand if it's not getting better, that you got to do something about it. And it's incredible when you look at athletes and they're always complaining about their feet, and you look at them athletes' feet. Why does your feet look like that? All gnarled.
Phil, you better get him. You better talk to him. You better talk to him, cause he out here. He at the bottom of the roster because his foot busted up like quick shooting Vera in the foot off of Harlem Nights.
Oh no!
He done shot me in my
Mullen out here like, oh, quick, you're gonna shoot me in my pinky toe.
So
now I got to cut you.
So we're looking at a Hurtis Curtis situation. That's my nickname for these repeated
offenders.
Yeah, repeated offenders. These training room lifers.
Nah, you know who I'm about to call him. If he don't get his shit together and stay healthy, I'm gonna start calling his ass Mr. Glass.
Oh, and so now, now it's his will. Now it's his will that's tore up. I mean, that really probably could knock off about a couple seconds off your speed.
You know what I realized, Tony? It seems like if I roast a player I give them the strength that they need.
The motivation, shame him into success.
If he don't get that busted up slave foot, that busted up foot that he had to saw from the movie Saw to survive. If he don't get that shit raggedy ass thing healed up, his ass is gonna stay at the bottom of the depth chart. The midget's gonna be ahead of him.
Ass toe.
The midget's gonna be ahead of him. Talk about Carr.
What would you like me to say? Said he's got all the weapons. He'll have the friendliest system he's ever had. Supposedly, all the verbiage is not going to be changed in order to make it easier for the offense to stay adjusted to run what they know. There's been plays that I'm sure that have been brought over and new plays that will be implemented. And I'll say this again. I said it on the show on Saturday with Rich, is that right now they're just throwing shit at the wall. Understand that they are just actively looking around just to see what they got, see what they can do. Find for all those times that you saw the Patriots pull some shit out of nowhere and do some old tricky shit, we're gonna find your toe. That's what's hot in the streets. Hey, that Mullen will never be all 10 toes in anymore since he left Vegas, since he left Oakland. It's a damn shame. Never be 10 toes in.
So when McDaniel said, there were some good days and there are some bad things, what are for as much details that can come out of? Let's go with the bad. What was the bad things he saw?
I probably say is what? Let's say what could we say? What O-line play? Could we say we're trying to find consistency out of these guys? We're trying to find who's going to fill this spot. Like I said, going back to the draft, once we had picked those O-linemen up, nobody's job was safe besides Colton Miller. To be honest, I'm going to say this right here. Some people may want to say this is cap, but cap my foot up your ass. But shit, Colton Miller might move to the right side. I wouldn't. I wouldn't suggest doing that because he's already been accustomed to the left side. But again, he's also good at the right side.
But if he has to do that, that means something went wrong.
No, that means we know he's strong there, but we know somebody's also strong on the left side.
Okay.
See, the thing is, you don't want to have guys sitting where it's like, why are we going to try to put, we know he's strong on the left side. Why the fuck we going to try to put a guy that's not strong on the right side?
Right. Just to
there.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going to be able to play every spot.
Yeah. And
that's what everybody has to remember. It could be, we got to know if you can play center. We got to know if you're going to play guard. We got to know if you can play tackle. That's normal. But, I think Colton Miller, he'll be fine at the left side. He's not like, it's like a bad thing, but you got to make sure, like, if something were to happen, we can go on and instantly slide him over and then have that other guy come in and play the left tackle position. So, like, let's say if, like, I don't feel comfortable with such and such playing right tackle, who's probably playing at, like, he's probably the backup tackle at the time, but I feel comfortable with him playing on the left side from what I saw in the preseason. You get where I'm going at?
Okay.
The other thing is your guard positions were never safe. We gonna be throwing baloney at the wall and see if this shit gonna stick. We gonna add the mustard to the bitch and we gonna say, bitch, stick to the wall, damn it.
when you said consistency, two things that came to mind. That it seems like that can cause inconsistency, which is effort and mental mistakes.
I think there's effort, but I think there's mental mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of the last regime wanted you to do this, do that, and it didn't fit their strengths. I want to put.
Are they coaching out bad habits right now?
He's going to put something. He's going to put his guys in the position where, okay, he's strong at that. He's strong at that. He's strong at that. I'm not going to do like, Brandon Parker, he never played the right side. But we're going to put you out there, damn it. You're a rookie. We're going to put you on the right side.
Sink or swim. And if you don't swim, we're going to call you a bum and a bus.
That was suicide. What they did to Brandon Parker was like putting a low-level villain on Amanda Waller's Suicide Squad.
Come on, man.
Wow.
I mean, shit. Am I lying?
Are they spending a lot of time trying to coach up bad habits? Like what? Like in terms of are they ahead of schedule right now in any kind of way, or are they behind?
They're right where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And are they coaching up bad habits? It's funny that you mentioned that because the offensive line coach sure did. And he mentioned it 3 separate times, twice in terms of called it core fundamental issues. And then in the veterans, teaching the veteran, cleaning up what they do and showing them a different way to do things. And so there are definitely some things that they feel that they could coach up out of these guys, which is what I've been saying all along is why you haven't seen them make very many moves on this offensive line. The one that stuck out the most was re-signing Brandon Parker for everybody who said he was garbage. But when you go to PFF and look at his body of work and his PFF rating, it was only 55. But then you go back and the green starts at 63. And with the scale of improvement that he's making, he should be close to, if not in the 70s by the end of next year.
Yeah.
Which will put him solid in a solid category, moving on to, dare I say, above average.
Oh, that kind of gets you in the Pro Bowl, maybe with a dropout, but you'll be an add-in.
He'll be the type of tackle that nobody talks about. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a lot of that's respect right there. Yeah, you want to get accolades and all of that, but if nobody notices you're on the field, that means that you did your job.
You know what that reminds me of? Brandon Shell. Brandon Shell, look, he did his job. Nobody really talked him up, but hey, he was there, did his job. The thing with this O-line, what they're going to have to do is this. I think the guys that were already on this roster and guys that were sent to the practice squad who should have had a roster spot might end up starting.
Wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, like a Lester Cotton. Might be a guy that end up starting and holding down the right guard position. You might end up seeing Jermaine Illuminaire at left guard. I know some folks might be thinking, oh, what about Parham probably playing center? You might not see him playing center. You might not even see him play guard. You might see him play right tackle. Yeah, Phil.
It is a Hollywood shuffle.
I like that term.
You might see Alex Leatherwood playing left tackle. Shit, at this point, they are mixing it up to see what they have. And we could list any number of shit. You might see Alex Bars out there. We could go through the entire offensive line roster because once again, this was one of those things that Brasillo addressed as well, is that you're not going to go through the whole entire season with just 5 guys. You got 4 preseason games this year. You got 17 regular season games. And if you make the playoffs and execute your vision, if you're the wild card team, you got 4 more games. If you're the number 1 seed, you got 3. So out of all of those games, you're looking at an offensive line that could potentially play 24 games.
And you're in the best one. You're in the best division in football right now.
Yeah.
And so you're not, so all you're going to have, and you typically when you dress them, you're only dressing 7 or 8. So those 7 guys have to be able to play any position on the line and in any combination and be comfortable with each other and have familiarity with each other and not look, oh, hey, there's a new face over there. It's part of the preparation package that set the former regime or this regime's former stop head and shoulders above everybody else, and they're bringing it over here. And now, rather than continuing to reference the Patriot, no, it's the new Raider way.
Exactly.
Dude, that's how we do things now and moving forward. Everything is going to have a purpose. It's going to make sense. It's going to be intelligent, smart, and what evolutionary in nature.
Hey, heads up. I was told to keep an eye out on Grazu at center.
Ronus?
Ronus Grazu.
Grasu.
I was told to keep an eye on him at center.
Okay.
So we'll see where that goes.
The beautiful thing about these OTAs, and I want you all to remember something. Nobody got any pads on. Nobody's touching each other. They're barely touching each other, excuse me. Nobody's hitting each other. Nobody's blocking each other. Nobody's tackling each other. None of that. In fact, everybody's getting as much space as they possibly can. This is the time of year where you worry about non-contact injuries.
And I'm going to be real. We still need it. Now, you could hit the panic button right now, but
why?
No, you didn't let me finish. I was talking about a player. Because they have yet to practice yet.
Yo.
Dundee. So you can hit the panic button on this player, or I mean, just let this ride out until training camp hit. But if he's not ready to go, he's going to probably end up on the pup list. Scrappy or maybe injury settlement.
Scrappy dude.
That's more likely. That's where I think they're going with that, and just keep.
I mean, do you honestly want to go that route, or do you want to?
It depends on how you're looking on the roster. Everybody's talking about you needed back to catch out of the backfield, and that would.
But you already have that. See, that's the thing. People are not looking into the details. People go off of, a few things, but they're not going back and watching the tape.
Nope. Or they're not. They don't. It's not that they're not watching the tape. What it is it's not. It's a as I tell Tone, and I'll tell you, it's an advanced level of looking at football that people are not on. And it's not necessarily that they're not looking at it; they're just not capable of seeing it quite that way because that's not where they are.
Because
Said you looking at football chess. Some people are just playing checkers, brother.
yeah, that is true. Cause it's funny, a lot. I'm like, Brandon Bolden can catch the football and run you over if he needs to. Yes, Josh Jacobs can catch the football and run you over
if he needs to.
It was Zamir White gets some stickum, so might need to call up Bolentnikov so you can get some stickum from him. He's gonna run you over and get to the second level. Open field, that's it.
Kenyon Drake coming out of the backfield to catch a ball,
but I need him healthy. Britton Brown.
What's the new healthy? What is the new healthy?
You know what the new healthy is?
How many games
available?
I need you available for at least 15 games. You can't go lower. You can't go under 15. The average that you need to be aiming for is 15 games. The way this schedule is set up, the Raiders are going to need everybody trying to play 15 games.
Because they're certainly playing, 12 straight after the bye week?
That's what it looks like, yeah. Because every game, when it comes after that bye week, is key.
Well, I mean, man.
Every game is key.
Yeah, because we open up with
that
with the division.
I'm saying off the basis of that stretch that they got to face, but 15 games is the average, and that's what I say for Josh Jacobs. I say that for even Drake.
Yep.
I say it for your rookies. Because if you're playing a key important role, I need your ass ready.
Do you think the way we hope and expect McDaniels to run this team, do you think that the substitution pattern, with the way the roster's set up, where guys aren't getting ran down. Now, Kenyon Drake, that guy, he can just go down any minute. But and I'm just naming a running back. I'm not talking about just running backs, but I'm talking about people in general.
You're saying, are they going to use the stuff? Are they going to be smart with how they use substitution? That's what you're trying to get at?
Yeah. To keep guys healthy and fresh.
Absolutely. Especially because my main concern, you look at Chandler Jones and Max Crosby. You don't want them worn down. I don't want to be hearing that they had about 99.9% snaps, like what happened with Crosby in 2020. What the Raiders have right now, you got the edge rushers. You got guys that can come in, and you have other options within your play calling and formations to set up to where they're not going to be out there majority of the times rushing at the quarterback. You have a Malcolm Kuntz. You have a Kyle Frack now. You have, I can just continue to go down the list of guys that they have. They can move them around. I look at, what's surprising, I look at Cleveland Farrell. Cleveland Farrell looks...
He looks motivated.
Leaner.
Yeah. He looks motivated.
He's going to have to be motivated to try to get something. Cause this is like last chance you for him.
I hope he's explosive. He can look as good
Exactly.
as he wants to look. I hope that he's explosive and can anchor himself better than he ever has before. I hope that he can get off the line of scrimmage. I hope that his hand fighting is on fleek. I hope that he's ready to make a difference, whether it be as an outside linebacker, which more or less is going to be a variation of the same position he was playing. It's just a question of are they going to have him stand up or go get down in the stance, and switching that all on and off. It will give him the ability to either rush or drop off. So
The way he
which
dropped that weight from top to bottom, I wouldn't be shocked if he's standing up, Phil.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't be shocked.
It's going to help. It's going to help because putting on more weight has only made him slower or less explosive.
What part about his development wasn't his fault? We people going, we can look at the things that he was in control of, but what part of his development wasn't his fault?
Scheme.
Scheme.
He should have never been playing on the weak side. You should have had him lined up over what you really should have did was flip him and Max. He should have been playing the strong side, and Max should have been coming from the blind side.
I mean, that's what happens when you have
especially if you're running a 4-3. Well, they ran the under. They should have been running the over. And that would have lined up two other guys with the last guard tackle being head up on the center.
On the center.
And gave him some one-on-one looks again with a chance to bump the tight end off his route as he crossed the line of scrimmage. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of really small, intricate, technical things that could have been done to help him. But he suffered from bad coaching. He suffered from a coach that didn't draft him and didn't want him. And now he's being asked to undo what others have told him to do. And it's got to be frustrating. At the same time, he didn't make himself get drafted at number 4. But it's a tough situation all the way around. Like you like to get, he showed traits of being a solid player, but in situations, but he just hasn't been able to stand out. Except for when you need a spy. So between him, Arden Key, and even potentially Jonathan Abram, those would be the 3 guys I'd have spy.
Shit. I'm thinking, how did he get? He might have a chance. And I mean, we notice about safeties like him. He might have a second chance doing what Diablo's doing.
I was going to say, looking at how he can possibly be used and how he looked physically, you might have to gather a whole new tape on him. You know what I mean? Like, what he looked like last year and the year before and so forth. I mean, if he's going to be used differently and he plays the way he looks, you know what I mean? Right now, that he may, slip and have a few games where that pops right off the screen.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and end this rather suddenly. I see my man is got to focus on his job tomorrow, and go on and hit the hay. And I'm not gonna play him any more than I already have. So Phil, Tone, all of you out there in the comment section, said anybody, this is the Unfiltered Truth. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Tune in, listen again. If you like, become a member, become one of the Unfiltered. Join the members only After Dark show. It goes on every Saturday. And we'll do this again sometime this week.